Welcome, and I'm going to talk right now about my fantasy wrestling. Now, for those of you that do not know what fantasy wrestling is, it's kind of like fantasy football, but not really, not the way I do it. So, when I was a little kid, I really didn't have a lot of friends growing up, but I never knew that what I was doing was something that other people were doing. So what I've been doing, you can call me a nerd, you can call me a geek, I don't really fucking give a shit. Since 1990, when I was 5 years old, I've been taking, at that point I was using Thundercats figures with those old school WWF figures, like the hard plastic ones that don't move, and I was creating my own matches, my own storylines, and I would do that for hours. And since 1990 until now, I still do it. And it's something I've hidden from people for the longest time, so I'm just going to let you kind of give you a reasoning why I do it. Now, one thing it does, it's kind of like a social, not social, but it's like a relief for me, like stress, because I just get right into it. Nothing else is really going on around me. Over the years, I've created over 300, maybe 400 wrestlers that are just come from my head. I'll create a storyline or anything like that. I'll create a storyline to really go off and I'll come up with an idea that I just think is really awesome and really work as a storyline. And the way I make my stuff is I map out a whole month of what I want to do, but then I also look at long-time storylines that I want to do, which is really cool, because then I could really just go boom, 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 boom. And if I find a wrestler on the internet that I like, that I think is really cool, I'll research all their moves, their mannerisms, and I'll use them in my mock WWE, which I have Raw. SmackDown I renamed WCW, so I kind of resurrected World Championship Wrestling. And then I have NXT, and I do drafts and everything, and I've been doing that for as long as I can remember. If there was something going on in my life, I would take people from that and put them into my company, and I would utilize everything. And some of my most interesting storylines I've come up with while trying to exercise through something that's going on in my life, or just creating really cool characters. Like at the time in 2000, I was getting really into hardcore wrestling. I was doing backyard wrestling at that point in time. So what I decided to do was create two characters that I would develop this story for, and that story was they were hardcore wrestlers who grew up in the Pacific Northwest but went to Japan and became extreme wrestlers, and their names were Hardcore and Barbed Wire. I know it's not super inventive, but I had them go in a best of 7 series, and then I took the Mick Foley fall and times it by 15 or 20, and that's how I came up with that storyline. And then I've just, my family line, the Agrippinos, I've brought them into wrestling because I know I can never have, my family line will probably never have the kind of success that I've put in this fantasy wrestling. I've created this whole family of champions and rivalries, and then I took one of my best friends in high school, Michael Alvarado, and I took his family and kind of incorporated them into the wrestling figure thing, so that way I could have the Agrippinos versus the Alvarados, and it's a storyline I continue to this day, and it's just, it helps with my creative juices. I wish I could be a writer for the WWE, Ring of Honor, any wrestling promotion that there is, and I just really love that aspect. I love the aspect of trying to creatively like debut somebody or give somebody a push, but try and give it in a push in a different way that you don't normally see. I don't want it to just be like boom, boom, boom. Like right now I'm in the process of doing a tournament because I had it with a WWE champion who I had was Chris Hero, got injured, so I set up a 32-man WWE championship tournament to decide who the new champion will be. And you just come up with, like, I don't really plan out who's going to win when I do tournaments. I basically, on the fly, in that moment, I'll be like, push this guy up, push that guy up. And I really think that's the way to go. You should really, like, I like creating stables, rivalries. You have a technical rivalry over here, you have a violent one over here. I love progressing feuds where they have a normal match and then they'll go to like another match where the other person wins, do a gimmick match, and then the ultimate gimmick match, which I think is the best. Professionally, I think this is the best way to go, and I love creating characters, storylines, everything, and it's something that I've been doing for so long, I'm never going to not do it. I buy new wrestling figures, I put them in, and I love it. I'm very creative. I'm very creative when I do all this stuff. And I really wanted to progress the story of what I'm doing. So I just wanted to give you guys sights and insights of what I'm doing, and I'm going to start putting more of this fantasy wrestling stuff on there. Like, I will give you guys, what I'm going to do is there's a show I've been doing for a long time. It's called Livewire. And yes, I know there's a WWF show that was called Livewire back in the day, but I'm just going to do, I've been doing Livewire since 1990, and what I'm going to do is I am going to start putting Livewire right on this channel. So, as always, I enjoy all of you, and I will see you all next time.